This man was sent to Hayat's home to find and destroy a manuscript we did not see upon our last visit.
We are not the only ones to be looking for Hayat, it seems. I think our madman has escaped from whoever was controlling him.
Ozdemir is right, Governor. Hayat could not have escaped, kidnapped your daughter, and taken the relic all on his own. By the way, where was Abraham's dagger actually kept?
In my work desk. But that was no secret. All the staff here could have known that.
I answer for Ibrahim as for myself, Ozdemir. He has been my aide for more than 30 years, and he saved my life at the Battle of Mohacs against the Hungarians.
Adrian, do you think we could find something in the piece of ash that is dirtying your fingers?
One of the pages in Hebrew is a quote from Isaiah on death. And I think I recognize a passage from the Epistle to the Romans concerning the resurrection. The words Nakir and Munkir are written in Arabic.
The names of the angels of death. That is not a good omen, Secretary.
Perhaps not. I think it talks of death as a door which opens onto another existence, a better life. That is surely the path of hope, according to Hayat. I doubt if the governor will be particularly lenient in the sentence you receive for your judgment. Except, perhaps, if you decide to tell us who you are working for.
Whatever happens, the governor's justice will stop at my head. He who asked me to search Hayat's home will have no hesitation in making my loved ones pay if I betray him. Leave me a little while to think on which side I should tip the balance.
I accept your proposal. I shall leave you the night to decide. We shall meet again tomorrow morning at dawn.
The evening is already old. Let us all rest a little. The dawn will soon approach, and tomorrow we will all need Allah's favor. May we all have enough strength to warrant it.
Adrian, either you are a fool, or
I have an idea in the back of my mind. Yes, Ozdemir, I must ask you to use your authority.
to discreetly watch the fire-starter's cell. That can be arranged. And what will you do during that time?
Pay a nocturnal visit to one of our friends.
I see, but I do not want to know. Well, not yet. Until tomorrow, Adrian, and may night be your accomplice.
The night is my accomplice, and the day my traitor. Is that not what the poet Al-Jahiz wrote?
You are as well read as a scribe, and you sometimes ask questions as naive as an infant's, Adrian. I think Hayat and you had quite a lot in common.
I am beginning to understand him. I'm convinced we will find Haikma safe and sound tomorrow.
If nothing terrible happens to you beforehand.
I come yet again to draw from your great knowledge. Is it still possible that we could speak, even at this late hour?
Of course. I am listening.
What can you tell me about Nakir and Munkir?
They are angels who weigh up the good and bad actions of every one of us.
What does the Muslim religion say about death?
Well, it is death that separates the true believer from the false one. Death unmasks those hypocrites who have fulfilled their Muslim duties only from habit or conformity, without adding faith. Those people, death sends to Gehenna, to hell, where they will suffer for all eternity. The pious and sincere man, however, can join Allah's paradise. That is what is said.
Do you know how the Christian religion views death?
In a similar way to us Muslims. Those who have recognized the good news of Jesus Christ will join the Father in heaven. But hell will be the destination for those who have refused to abdicate their pride before the generosity of divine forgiveness. But there is a major difference between Christian faith and Muslim faith, which is that on the day of the Last Judgment, and in the example of Christ, The dead will be revived. That is what the apostles and Paul say.
Do you know if the Jewish religion believes in the survival of the soul?
Oh, with the Hebrews it is more complicated. For a long time they have maintained that the human soul survives until death, but goes to reside in the Sheol, a sort of valley of shadows and sadness, where it cannot even praise God. Later, in the time when Christ was said to live, the Jews, then known as Sadducees, did not believe in resurrection of the dead, while the Pharisees did believe. Today, I think they, like us, believe in survival of the soul, but not resurrection of the dead.
So the three religions think there is life after death?
The definition is difficult to make. I would not say life in the earthly sense of the word. Let us say that the religions agree that the soul's journey does not end with the destruction of the body.
Have you known Ibrahim for a long time?
Since he arrived in Jerusalem about 10 years ago. He is a very good man and is devoted to the governor. You do not suspect the poor man, surely?
Why do you say poor man?
Ibrahim is Abtar. He has no descendants. That is seen as a weakness for Muslims. It is better to be left-handed than Abtar.
So Ibrahim has never married?
Ibrahim had many wives and even more concubines, but none ever gave him children. I believe that is why the governor did not want to marry him to Hikmah.
The chamberlain wanted to marry Hikmah? Well, I should get to know Ibrahim better in that case. Are you on guard all night?
No, luckily. I'll soon be relieved.
They must be files of poison.
Oh, Ibrahim, first of my disciples. When you find this letter, your men will have finally freed me from this unsavoury jail, where I was left to rot, and our plan will have begun. I am making a last-minute change. I think that the place we decided upon as a hiding place for the governor's daughter and me is not safe enough. I am changing it, therefore. I shall not tell you where it is, as I have not made a final decision myself. When the time comes, I shall tell those who shall follow the trail I have led where it is. Whatever happens, it will be in a holy and forbidden place, a sort of sanctuary, a place that is worthy of the grand finale that I have prepared. Thank you for your help, disciple, and rest assured that you shall have a good place in the book that the scribes of all nations shall extract from my work.
22nd of Nisan, 956. My friend, I know what pain I must have inflicted by refusing the hand of Hikmah, my beloved daughter, to you. It hurts both of us, too, as I do not know a more noble suitor than you. For you to be a member of my family would have been only right after all these years passed so faithfully in supporting me with your advice and seeing me through the cruel tests that I have met, the death of my sons and of my sweet and beautiful Layla. However, Allah has not yet rewarded you with descendants. Hikmah is now my only child and my only hope of perpetuating my family lineage. You will understand if I reserve her for a man I am sure will make me a grandfather. May the thought of my eternal friendship allow you to continue to strive for our common good, which I trust is what you hold most dear.
The 8th Muharram, 939. Ibrahim. A note to tell you how tired I am to yet again suffer the base effrontery of your ridiculous courtship. I had hoped that, with time, your mad passion would abate, or that at least my maternity would muzzle your infamous concupiscence. But once again, your indecent proposals have disturbed the happiness I enjoy with my husband and child. Your manners, your looks, your simple presence are unbearable for me. I hope, however, to be able to stifle scandal by giving you 2 days to leave. Beyond that time, I shall not hesitate to reveal everything about your conduct. I am sure your talents shall allow you to start a new life somewhere else. Thanks to Allah, our empire is large enough for you to enjoy its vastness far away from us. Layla.
Secretary, you will never guess.
Let me try, Governor. Ibrahim was found having a long conversation with the fire starter.
Well, Secretary, you are wrong. Ibrahim was found trying to poison the fire starter. I cannot believe it.
If Ibrahim felt sufficiently hunted to take an enormous risk and give himself away, my document is not going to be of much use. Where is the Chamberlain held?
Unfortunately, he managed to escape. I believe many of the guards were in his pay. Why did Allah so blindfold me about this man for so many years? But what document are you speaking of?
If we needed any more proof of Ibrahim's guilt, I think we now have it.
But why? Why? These men, why did they take my daughter away?
Ozdemir, Hayat's letter mentions a holy and forbidden place, a sanctuary, a spectacular place.
A holy and spectacular place, that is all there is in Jerusalem. I think that Isa al-Ghauri must be awakened. Go and ask him the question, Adrian. He has already given you good advice. Perhaps he has an idea.
The day is not yet risen, yet here you are studying again.
And if it were not thus, I would have been deprived of a conversation with you. With you, Dhimmi, I feel I am really an important man. So, where have your studies led you?
They are leading me towards a holy and forbidden place, whose name I do not yet know.
A holy and forbidden place? That is exactly what Aram as-Sharif means. The noble wall, the heart of Jerusalem, where the Cathedral of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque can be found. As often happens, the answer you were looking for is contained in your question.
You say I cannot go there?
By no other way but thought, Dhimmi. Otherwise you would violate a law that even the governor of the city cannot abolish. But I have told you, I can open the doors to that place in my own way. Do you want us to try the experiment?
To go to Haram as-Sharif through imagination, is that not a little...
Childish? Of course not. You Westerners have forgotten the power of imagination. If it is well guided, the imagination can be a very powerful instrument of knowledge. It can introduce us to other realities than the ones in which we daily dwell. Close your eyes. To protect a sacred rock, the rock that the followers of Allah say is the center of the world, and from which the Prophet leapt towards the heavens, a dome was built. Become its new architect, and you shall be worthy enough to enter. Begin by circling the rock with a ring of columns. Build a second colonnade outside the first to create an ambulatory. Now raise the building's walls. Now cover the columns with a drum of stone that 16 windows shall pierce. Finally, place the double cupola on the building so that you can admire the work you have just recreated in all its splendor. If you wish, architect, a second task awaits you. Release your hand, architect. Take the building stones and rebuild Al-Aqsa, the largest mosque in Jerusalem. First, draw the central nave, then surround it with 2 rows of columns. Extend the nave with 2 bays. 7 arcades must now make up the porch. Place a transept at the end of the nave and cover their crossing point with a cupola. Good. Now it is up to you to survey the wonder your mind has rebuilt. The Fatimids from Egypt, the Crusaders and the Ayyubids dynasty, all worked to bring such majesty to this place. A mosque for Muslims, a palace for the Franks, this sanctuary is known by Islam as Al-Aqsa, the Far One, as they say it was the most northerly point ever reached by Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah. On the sides of the nave, like twin jewels encased in a larger jewel, the Mosque of Omar celebrates the memory of the second successor to the Prophet, while the White Mosque is reserved for the prayers of women. In the transept wall and the nave's axis, a mihrab, a niche, shows believers the direction of Mecca. Nearby, the imams stand during collective prayers. Under this cupola, where a frieze exalts the name of Jesus Christ, Prophet according to Islam, a sacred rock has the imprint of Muhammad's foot and the Archangel Gabriel's hand. This was the first altar of the one God, the table on which the faith of the patriarch Abraham and Yahweh was sealed. Well, Dimi, it would seem that divine providence has ensured you are greatly endowed with the virtues of imagination. Have you found any information that may assist your search?
I have seen and done some strange things, but all the places you made me cross were empty of all human presence.
That I made you cross? But I have not said a single word since you closed your eyes. Anyway, forget that. Let that be your mystery. What else can I do for you?
Nothing else for now, I'm afraid.
Adrian, I was looking for you. You were right. Hayat has shown himself. At daybreak, the guards found a message to you left on the steps.
To the Rumi that Providence has placed in my path, as it sent Simon Peter to the meeting with Christ and Bilal to Muhammad. Since only you have discovered how to follow the path I drew, it is up to you to bring me the ram, the fish, and the lion. Come with them to the entrance of the quarries of Solomon. I shall be waiting for you there, and you shall become the second of my disciples.
The ram, the fish, and the lion must stand for people.
The ram often represents the Jewish people. The first Christians took the fish as their sign of recognition, and the lion is an animal which is greatly respected in the lands of Islam.
Do you know where the quarries of Solomon lie?
A little outside the city, near the ramparts.
I shall give the order to the guards to search them immediately.
No, Governor. Hayat is using Hikmah to deliver a message of union to us. He will not harm her. But he does not yet know that Ibrahim has betrayed him. If he is angered, who knows how he may react? It is better if we do as he asks. Hayat speaks of a disciple. Do you think he means Ibrahim?
Difficult to say. Obviously, the Chamberlain is the key to many things, but I do not yet fully understand his role.
Resentment, frustration, jealousy, who knows? Even the most hardy souls can sometimes succumb. Governor, can you send for Imam Abdel-Wahid, Archimandrite Palamede, and Rabbi Kalonymus? The four of us will go to the quarries of Solomon, and I promise you that together, the ram, the fish, and the lion will bring Hikmah back to you.